Welcome to Wrestling is Hard, where every side is the dark side of the ring. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at hard4wrestling. Email questions and complaints at wrestlingisHard@gmail.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Is it a channel? Yes, our page, YouTube channel. Wrestling is Hard Production. I'm Jim. All right, here we go. As promised, our Wrestling is Hard round robin tournament. 64 wrestlers have been selected. Actually, we got, how many wrestlers do we actually have? We have more than that. I think we have 68 wrestlers. So, real
couple
quick,
of playing games.
We got playing games. We got 2 playing games. So, real quick, I'm going to go through what we picked and why we picked it. We wanted to cover stuff that we normally cover. So, AEW, Stardom, New Japan. But then there was some stuff we couldn't ignore. Roman Reigns is on this list. You know, there's a couple people that are like floating around in the indies. Well, one man in particular that's got like every single fucking title. So we threw him in there. We also eliminated some people, but it wasn't always particularly because we don't like them, but we're kind of doing it like it's sort of storyline based. It's kind of kayfabe as the wrestlers, as the insider term is. So, like, if you only wrestled 6 months of the year, but you held 3 titles, you're going to be in this. Or if you only showed up in September, but you've made a massive impact on the company that you showed up in, you're in this list. That's all there is to it. We couldn't pick everybody, but that's why we have a couple of people that are on the outside trying to play their way in.
Much like traditional March Madness, you know, if you're a champion, you get an automatic bid.
Right.
But for everybody else, if you're Duke, maybe you get to jump the line a little bit. So that's kind of what we're doing here.
Also, the way I did it was for WWE, I took every current champion as of March 1st. And if I felt, and I ran it past you guys, a guy that was champion before that was substantial enough storyline wise, or for us, we don't watch WWE, but we're aware of WWE. If we were knowledgeable of what was going on in the storyline with this person, I included them as well. But with AEW, I pretty much included everybody that's been a champ all year, including tag teams and people who have been in, I guess, extended storylines with these people. So they might not have won a title, but they'll still be involved in the storyline. And I did the same thing with New Japan and Stardom as well. Stardom, I pretty much just went with people that are that have held the title, had the title, or have held the title. So, shall we get started? Oh, by the way, I will post this list. It'll be a link in our profile on Instagram where it'll just be an unadulterated list, A to Z, alphabetical, that you can see who we selected. Now, I completely randomized this. I didn't want to go through the work of seeding it, and I think it'd be more fun to randomize it. So this is completely random. I ran it through a randomizer, did a lot of work. Now, guys, Brandon, Chris, you can click on your tab and reveal the result.
So it's entirely possible that our favorite 2 could face off early. And
yeah, they could be gone. Or 2 people we can't stand, we'd have to pick one.
I shouldn't say our favorite, but yeah. Okay.
Send us a message, but I couldn't read it. What's that?
I was trying to be slick. You were a little crackly.
That's fine.
I was just trying.
I'll turn down my gain.
I was trying to be slick there, and I couldn't figure out how to do it because
better. Is that better?
Jimmy's doing a gainer.
Definitely
better. Okay.
And thanks, real quick, up front to Jim for organizing this because I wouldn't have done it. I won't speak for Chris, but
you can speak for
me.
Who
has
I'm right
the fucking time?
I managed to bang this out pretty quickly, but I ended up getting in a situation because Sheets isn't exactly the best in the world. It's not Excel. It's knockoff Excel. I kept plugging in names and it kept alphabetizing them. And then it would screw up everything I typed out and I had to redo it. It was a fucking nightmare, but I got to figure it out. Right. Here we go. You want to start this off?
Yeah, let's do it.
Are open. You taking a look?
Yeah.
We got our 16 members or teams in every single conference. We've got 4 conferences. We'll go through the conferences, and then we will work towards our winner. Let's start with the play-ins. So our first play-in, the winner of this will face, in the Poop Pants Conference, will face the quote-unquote number 1 seed. None of these seeds are numbered.
Maybe we should cover the 4 conferences quickly first. I don't know.
Let's do that. So in the what would be
Or-
considered, I guess, the what would be considered, I guess, the Northwest Conference, we have the Poop Pants Conference. In honor of all the times we talk about
The
shitting
Northwest.
ourselves.
There's no Northwest.
Northwest
Who
Northwest
cares? There
Conference.
is now.
According to
even
this
pretend
map,
to
the map
be
that I
up.
have, this is the Northwest.
It's
Jimmy
up and to the
Crockett
left.
in a little
Up and to the left
bracketology
conference.
Up and to the left.
The up and to the left conference, the Alaska Conference. I got the Poop Pants Conference in reference to all the times we talk about poopy on the podcast. In the Southwest or California Conference, we've got the NFT Conference. Just a little shout out to our NFT trading man, Brandon. In our Northeast, go ahead.
I'm not gonna say.
You cut me off at any time, man. In the Northeast Conference, aka Maine, these games will be being played in Maine. We got the wouldn't recognize him shitting in a trough next to me conference. To one of the most historic things Chris said in the last year when referring to who were we talking about?
I can't even. I thought you said it. I have no idea, dude.
Who?
I don't remember.
We were talking about. Oh, was it Jay Cargill's manager?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Smart Mark Sterling. And then in the Florida, playing in Miami, we got the Carney Conference. That's pretty.
The Carney Conference. Really, should just be called the Carney of the year tournament. But
Go ahead.
you cut out for a minute. Sorry. The Carney Conference. Really, this is just the whole tournament is the Carney Conference. But
Yes. I had to put names on everything, so we'll stick with this forever. We're stuck with these names forever. So here we go. Playing number 1 to face Sayakami Tani in the first round. Here we go. Brandon, you can go first. We got Orange Cassidy, AW star Orange Cassidy, versus Tetsuya Naito of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Brandon, who you got in this matchup, a matchup of matchups, something you wouldn't expect as a play-in?
yeah, look at that right off the bat. Just to get into it, this is two compelling matchups. I'm not going to spend too much time divulging early in the tournament here.
Go ahead.
We got a lot of people to
early
work
because we're not
through.
going to divulge later.
When I think of Tetsuya Naito, the first thing I think of is to no fault of his own, bombing out of the G1 almost instantly. Orange Cassidy, love him or hate him, indifferent about him, probably the bucket I fall in. It's been a big presence this year. He's getting on my play-in vote.
There you go. You said Orange Cassidy?
Correct.
Yes. Chris, Orange Cassidy versus Tetsuya Naito.
Yeah, I got to say I'm in agreement with Brandon here for all the same reasons. So let's go Orange Cassidy.
Orange Cassidy.
He's in.
Yeah, beating multiple-time champ, New Japan champ, Tetsuya Naito. So that leads us to our first round matchup. Sayakami Tani, the white belt holder of Stardom, Golden Phoenix, versus Orange Cassidy. Chris, I'll let you go first this time.
So I'm going to go solely based on the fact that this person is a champion and has a fucking awesome nickname that I didn't even know that she had. So let's go Sayakami Tani for the win here. I also don't think Orange Cassidy deserves to get, I don't want to say deserves, but should get out of the first round by any real bracket. He got his win. Let's move on. I mean, I like Orange Cassidy, but yeah. I'm going to go with a champ here.
I'll go next since Brandon went first last time. Orange Cassidy, a lot of fun to watch. Won us over the course of the year. Sayakami Tani called out Kota Ibushi to wrestle. She's been a champ for now a few months, but she's been in the champion scene since the beginning of the year and since March of last year. So I got to go Saya. So that makes your vote not count, Brandon, but go ahead.
What's the nickname, Chris?
Yeah, Golden Phoenix.
Golden Phoenix.
Ooh.
Like a golden phoenix rising from Arizona.
What was our 2020 nickname? Did we have one?
Chris, what was our 2020?
Total Annihilation.
This is 2021.
This is total. No.
2021.
2021 was No Mercy. 2022 is Total Annihilation.
There you go.
That's right. So this is the split season between the year of No Mercy and the year of Total Annihilation, who were the winners. So,
right.
I mean, if you're talking Total Annihilation, that's 3 for Kamatani. Orange Cassidy, you can beat it.
Next up, our first WWE entrant matchup. We got AW multi-time TV champion, TBS champion, TNT champion, Sammy Guerrera against the woman that he said he would rape.
Holy shit.
Multiple women's champ, WWE superstar in Star Wars, Sasha Banks. I'll go vote first. This has got to be Sasha Banks because Sasha Banks is in Star Wars. And if you're in Star Wars, you're immediately more relevant than anything WWE has ever done.
AEW.
Sasha Banks.
Yes. She's
in WWE.
Oh, I thought you were saying you were taking Star Wars over the entire, like, fuck WWE. Who cares about WWE? If you're in Star Wars, you beat out anybody in AEW. That's what
if you're in WWE, you're more popular than anybody in AEW. If you're in Star Wars, you blow everybody out of the water.
Exactly.
Right. Brandon, you're up next.
This might be topping my Rey Mysterio's eyeball over the Hana Kimura suicide. Probably not as bad, but I'm going the other way. We're going the TNT champion, 2-time TNT champion, Sammy Guevara.
Chris, tiebreaker. Who you got? Banks versus Guevara.
I'm going to take Sammy Guevara and flush him right down the fucking toilet. We're going to go with Sasha Banks here.
Swerved me. Sasha Banks goes through. Typing. Next up, Serena Deeb, NWA champ, I believe during the year of No Mercy, as she injured Hikaru Shida's knee, took her out, storyline wise, and she has been dominating ever since. She's always fun to watch. Versus Mr. Jon Moxley. Mox turns from rehab just as hot as ever. Go Mox. Brandon, you're up. Go ahead. You get first one.
Whew. This is an interesting one. Big fan of both of them. Serena Deeb just didn't play the level of competition. Not a fan of her busting up Hikaru Shida's knee, taking her out for a while. Moxley, they have a Wild Thing theme. Big come up for Jon Moxley this year, despite losing the title. And that awkward, I think, would fall in the last calendar year, that Kenny Omega fireworks nightmare.
That is still year, but it's okay. We can count it.
He's getting out of round 1. This is top 10 PWI. Okay.
I like this. That's it. Yeah. Use storyline, man. Fucking work it into it. Make it fun. Chris, your vote.
Yeah. You know what? I think we should just move on because I can't see Jon Moxley getting outvoted in the first round by anybody. So let's do it.
Yeah. I also go with Jon Moxley. Serena Deeb's been great, but Jon Moxley's king. Next up. Okay. Here's somebody else that shouldn't be voted out in the top round. The multi-time champ or multi-day champ. Before I even go into this, one interesting thing is that it was a lot easier to come up with people like storyline wise in WWE to be involved in this than it was with AEW. Once again, one of the things that we talk about on the show is that their champs hold the title forever. So the only people that would qualify are people that lost to people. While WWE moves the title around a little bit more, and they could, if we watched them more, I would have included more of them. But here's an example of it. Young Bucks, the champ for most of the year of No Mercy, versus Brock Lesnar. Chris, you're up first.
This is easy for me. Fucking Brock Lesnar. I don't think nothing to me as far as wrestling shows that I do not watch can top Cowboy Brock. The fact that he's actually got a personality of his own right now, and he's been gold. So, and the Young Bucks have been doing the same thing for 105 years. So I'm kind of over it. So even though the Young Bucks had that awesome match in the cage, I'm going with Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar's been a fucking gem.
I am also going for Brock. I don't really need to explain it. The guy's a fucking superstar. Brandon, any thoughts on this before we move on?
Yeah, I think not just in the ring, but outside of the ring too. Brock Lesnar's showing his personality this year, and I'm thinking of like the Pat McAfee interview where he was like saying he's like somebody's got to fucking step up in this company. Just him cutting loose to that point does more for pro wrestling than any Young Bucks match, in my opinion.
What about the stars, Brandon?
Yeah, what about the Stars?
Next up, Chris Jericho. He was fat. He was bloated. He's lost some weight. Looks a lot better now. Most of the year of No Mercy, he had No Mercy on his liver versus the champion, the red belt champion. One of the best stories of the year of No Mercy, Siri of Stardom. Whose turn is it? Oh, it's my turn. Well, you know I'm going to go with Siri just because I'm biased towards women's wrestling. So there you go. That's my reason. I don't really have to argue. Brandon, your thoughts?
Yeah, up and down year for Jericho for sure. Barely snuck in here, but I'm taking him to advance with my vote. I think he turned it around here at the end, had enough of a presence that I can't see him getting knocked out in round one. The people still sing Judas.
Yep, Judas in my mind. Chris?
So Chris Jericho fell into a bunch of boxes, and we saw it, and then threatened to make sure that people didn't get hired because they made fun of it. So I think I'm going to have to go with Siri on this one because Jericho was not a great human being while he was. I'm starting to think that like he's kind of almost become enjoyable again since he's been thinner. I think that motherfucker was hitting the booze. Like we're joking around about it, but I think his attitude over the past year has been such shit that I think we're 100% right. That fucking dude's just been destroying his liver.
Meat, dude.
Yeah, it's just been really fucking weird. And I mean, now if Chris Jericho's plugs were on this, I'd have them in the finals. But
they're much more prominent than his hairline.
Just Chris Jericho. I'll go with Siri. Give me something different.
Nice.
I wasn't even joking. I think you're right. Chris Jericho definitely he's got booze brain through the entirety of No Mercy and Total Annihilation. But he did look pretty good on Wednesday.
He did. What Wednesday are you talking about? Last Wednesday, right?
I guess last Wednesday or two Wednesdays ago. Yeah.
What was it? 2 Wednesdays ago.
That was 2 Wednesdays ago. All right, we're not talking about last Wednesday. 2 Wednesdays ago. Next up, the holder of the Diamond Dallas Page ring, MJF versus our first New Japan entry, the dominant Jeff Cobb. Second? Oh, yeah, we had Naito got kicked out playing. Versus Jeff Cobb. Chris? No, Brandon, you're up, right? No. Yeah, Brandon's up.
Jeff Cobb, one of my personal favorites, but just the pure volume coming out of MJF on the mic, for better for worse. He's got to. If Jericho's out round one, MJF can't also be out round one. We also, you fuckers, removed the Jericho versus MJF round 2 potential matchup, but that's okay.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? Chris?
I'm in agreement. Jeff Cobb, New Japan was so boring all year. I didn't watch any of it hardly. So, and MJF was a lot of things. One of the things he wasn't was boring.
Yeah, Jeff Cobb was fun to watch, but New Japan they're gonna hurt, I think, in this thing. So yeah, MJF, we weren't crazy about him, but especially the beginning of the year of what are we in? What year are we in again?
Total Annihilation.
Total Annihilation. He has come on strong.
Massive right, G1 from Jeff Cobb. I don't want to just totally breeze over that. I should have said it during my turn, but hey, he peaked at the wrong time of year, you know.
That's right, and a good Wrestle Kingdom match too, but not enough. MJF's on every week. Sometimes great, sometimes not so great, but mostly great. Next up, former women's champ. She held the championship for AEW through most of the pandemic. Karu Shida versus the only person I believe that's on here that isn't one of the major companies we cover. A man who loves trolling, who holds more titles than some people have ever held in their entire career at once. Matt Cardona. Chris, thoughts? Shida versus Cardona.
You're on mute.
This may be unpopular, man, but I think you got to go with the guy with all the belts and the guy that collects action figures and the guy that's made a lot of noise in the indies where nobody else has, and he's done it all on his own. So I'm going Matt Cardona all the way.
Matt Cardona, just for pissing off all those Death Valley Kill. What the fuck's that guy's?
Murder,
what's that guy
Death-
from Jersey? Murder, Death, Kill. What's that guy from
Murder,
Jersey's
Death,
name?
Kill.
What's that guy's name?
Fucking Mark.
Nicolas
his name?
Cage.
Nick Cage.
Nicholas
Nicolas
Cage.
Cage.
Nicholas Gage.
Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Gage. Yeah. Matt Cardona. Brandon, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'm not going to argue. I flip-flopped about 4 times while you guys were talking. I talk about 2 people that have done the most with not a great position. So somebody's got to lose.
Yeah, agreed. And like you could say, like, oh, Hikaru Shida, she was injured and she was gone for a little while. Yeah, whatever. This is fun. All right, next up, Darby Allin, the AEW. Did he have any titles in the Year of No Mercy? Did he have
Yeah, he was
TNT in the
TNT
beginning?
well into Q2. Yeah,
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure.
Versus former WWE Women's Champ Charlotte Flair, who the internet hates for some reason. I think I'm up first, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. This is very hard because Charlotte Flair is amazing, and I love when the internet gets mad, and I'm always on their side. But Darby Allin is show stealer every time he's on the stage. I'm going with Darby Allin. Brandon.
Yeah, I'm going to go the other way on this one. I'm going with Charlotte Flair. Again, I don't get the volume of WWE, so maybe she's bombed a lot more than I've seen. But when I think of like some of the more memorable and interesting stuff, it was when Rick was melting down and she's kind of dealing with it live on Monday Night Raw. some compelling shit from Charlotte that sticks out my mind more than Bart.
Chris, tiebreaker.
Yeah, Charlotte Flair, bro.
All right.
Darby Allin. I love watching Darby Allin. But part of me also thinks how much about Darby Allin would intrigue me if Sting wasn't involved. I mean, he'd still be awesome, but I'm a Sting fan, and I think that's part of the reason why I really enjoy him. So Charlotte Flair. Plus, internet hates her, which makes me love her.
And the internet loves Darby Allin, even though he's bad to his girlfriends. Brandon, got thoughts?
Sting is not in the tournament, I think.
No, he isn't.
I'm looking at this
I eliminated
correctly,
him.
so just to note that.
Yeah, not in tournament. Now on to the next conference, the NFT conference. That's non-fungible token for you people out there. First up, we got Dangerous Techers, New Japan Pro Wrestling Tag Champs for a long time versus the current AEW champ, Adam Page. Chris, I believe you're up. Brandon, are you up? Who's up?
I don't know.
Brandon, go ahead, you can go.
I'm up.
We just left the conference, which was about to happen to me in about 3 seconds. I'm over here squirming.
Shit pantser.
So you guys if you guys see me run, you may have to drag this out.
Just wait till you vote and I can drag.
All right. I'll vote first and then you can drag.
Let Brandon go first. Hold
Okay,
on.
go ahead.
Hold it. Pinch for a little while.
Yeah, I fucks with the Techers, but again, not a huge fan of them. But I've had to spend a tremendous amount of time this year thinking about Adam Page, and for that reason, he gets the vote.
Chris?
Yeah, you know what? I love. I could care less about. Tai Chi. But I love ZSJ. But he hasn't done shit. We're gonna go with Adam Page.
All right, go take a shit real quick.
Yep, up. Stretch it.
I can't really argue with this. I love ZSJ. I love Tai Chi. They're a lot of fun, but Adam Page is front and center of the second biggest company and the biggest company, in our opinion, from our attention span. All right, next up, TBS champ Jade Cargill versus current, I believe, Raw Tag Team champs RK Bro. Brandon, you're going to have to go first again.
Yeah, I'm adamant about this one. This has probably been the clearest of all of the picks for me so far. Jade Cargill, I'm a gigantic fan. And when I think of WWE and the lights going off and the generators turning on and it really going down the shitter, right around RK Bro time was when I think we decided we can't do this every week. It's just going to take too much out of us mentally. Oh, yeah. When the scooter is coming out, this was post Bray Wyatt leaving, Randy Orton being aimless, and this is what they did with him. Like, this was, I wouldn't say the straw that broke the camel's back with us stopping watching WWE, but not that I'd have a problem with either of these two, but them together just reminds me of it leaves a bad taste in my mouth with the World Wrestling Entertainment.
All right, now that we're on that topic, though, what do you think was the straw? It had to, in my opinion, it had to do with Randy Orton. It was that box-like structure at WrestleMania. I think that's when it was done. What do you think?
I'm trying to think of what it was. I was in on I tuned into Raw, not having it being assigned as my fucking homework back when we were doing that, because I wanted to see if Randy Orton was going to burn someone alive, and then it got so bad. So I was kind of in on that storyline, but I think it was post that when it was just like, I think it was just the relentless cuts to people that were active in storylines and just being like, man, I don't know if I could think of a specific one. Maybe Karrion Kross,
right,
when he came out as like the BDSM guy and then disappeared. I'd probably go with that.
Is Chris back?
Chris is back.
All right, Chris, we picked Jade Cargill versus RK Bro. We both picked Jade Cargill. Any thoughts on this before we move on?
No, I mean, RK Bro it was one of the few matches I watched this year on Raw in its entirety.
We talked about a couple weeks ago.
Great, yeah, but nothing really happened in there. She's an up and comer. She looks fucking phenomenal. Jade Cargill, give it to Jade Cargill. I agree with you guys.
All right, next up. I don't think this would count because we're going from March 1st. Is it March 1st? Yeah, I guess we can count it. The golden toilet bowl seat winner, Wardlow, versus Finn Balor, NXT champ. Was off TV for a long time. Comes back. Guess we can include that he won the IC title. Chris, you can go.
It's a tough one because
really
I have
tough.
to. Is Finn Balor a better performer than Wardlow? 100%. Have I watched anything in the recent past that Finn Balor's done or been interested in that guy at all?
Yeah.
No. Wardlow's and Finn Balor, victim of WWE crap writing. Now, AEW, not much better. Isn't all that more coherent, but at least Wardlow had a fucking story that they told, and they kind of, they've gotten to the point where it's time to move on and advance it, and they actually took their time with it for the first time ever. So I'll go with Wardlow.
This is really hard because I love Finn Balor. He's so fucking hot. His abs are amazing. He's got a great haircut. But Wardlow's interesting. And Finn Balor, even when he was the real when he turned back into the real rock and roller, not that interesting. Sorry. NXT kind of lost us at the end there.
They really did.
Before we start covering it. So I'm going to go with Wardlow. Brandon, any thoughts on this before we move on?
No, I think it was just like last night even I saw a picture of Finn Balor with people on Instagram, and I was like, I miss that guy. Even though he's like kind of still around, so I don't think I can have him advance.
All right, let's move on. The year of No Mercy had some ups and downs, but one constant was Kenny Omega's bad acting. So we got Kenny Omega versus FTR, the tag champs, or the current tag champs? They were the tag champs. And they were the tag champs of AAA, and there was all kinds of stuff. But they were always involved in the top seeds, the top of the tag teams in AEW. I'm first, right? I got to go with Kenneth, right? Just storyline-wise. It's got to be Kenny Omega. Brandon, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's, not that we're anti-traditional wrestling fan, but boy, we would really lose some fans if Kenny goes out in round one. He's not that bad.
Fuck these guys. They don't agree with me.
That feels like too much of a statement to knock him out immediately.
Right. Chris, any thoughts?
Yeah, you guys made up my mind for me. I really couldn't tell because I'm not a fan of Kenny Omega. I find him, he's, in my opinion, channel changing material.
Right.
But FTR, you can't have them beat Kenny Omega. I recognize his popularity and his skill in the ring.
His
so
panache and his championship.
Yeah. So, and he was the champion for 17 months or whatever it was. for the whole year.
And amazingly wrestled. Admittedly, he wrestled with Vertigo, which is fucking insane.
Yeah.
So all right, next matchup. Nyla Rose, AEW's Nyla Rose versus the Lucha Bros, former champs of AAA and AEW's tag champs. Chris, you're up.
Easy one for me. Lucha Bros. Pentagon's one of my favorite wrestlers. They were fucking awesome. Had one of my favorite matches of the year. And they got a weird dude that looks like a businessman that rides to the bar in his Ducati. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Lucha
QVC
Bros.
Salesman.
Yeah, QVC man.
Yep. Lucha Bros. The Bros of Lucha.
Brand, I'm all over the place. You can go next.
Yeah, Lucha Bros, pure joy. If you split these two up, I would have a hard time knocking either of them out over the last year. So them together, they might be along for a little bit of a ride as far as my vote's concerned.
Mm-hmm. I am not going to disagree. The Rose is cool, but Lucha Bros are something else. They are must-watch television. Next up, I think I have it spelled wrong. It looks like it says Malakia Black.
Malakia
Black versus Miro, former TNT champ, former best man to Kip Sabian. Brandon, you can go first this time.
Speaking of pure fun, maybe I'm wrong. The Lucha Bros might be knocked out before the Sweet 16 here because, my God, Miro is the fucking man. He's moving on.
Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, I almost was like kind of stuck there for a minute, but then I realized when Brandon just said Miro's the fucking man, he is the fucking man. Dude rules. So let's go with Miro.
Malakai Black was in a bunch of storylines that really haven't gone anywhere, including a Cody one that went on forever, and now he's left the company. Gotta go with Miro. It's a shame. We miss him as watchers, as viewers every week of AEW. We definitely miss him. We're just talking about us three.
Which is, we haven't talked on so long. That's a good thing. You guys have brought that up before, like a full storyline where you're into it the whole time and then he's gone and you're like, where is this guy? And then when he comes back, you're like, thank God I missed him. Like, yeah, keep the energy high.
Let's move on. Ty Conti versus Jurassic Express. I don't think. Should I go first? I'll go first. Jurassic Express, please. Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Ty Conti's whack as fuck. Give me Jurassic Express.
She's okay, but yeah.
Just like weird undercard or weird, just like, I don't know. Insert women's wrestler here.
She's like legit mid-card forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go with Jungle Boy and the giant that always eats the pin-eating giant.
Any thoughts on this?
Nah.
All right, last in the NFT conference. IC champ, US champ. I don't know which champ. WWE Sami Zayn, who I don't know if you guys have caught this. He's feuding he's feuding with Johnny Knoxville from Jackass. Johnny Knoxville supposedly ran this thing's down at the Wildwood Shore with the plane that he put his phone number up there.
Little biplane with the sign flying behind it.
People are texting and FaceTiming Sami Zayn all hours of the night. He's posted social media complaining. It's fucking brilliant. I don't even watch the show, but just paying attention to that is fucking great. So props to Sami Zayn. Versus white belt champ, Stardom's Tommy Knox, Tom Nakano. Who could forget her match against Julia where they slapped the fucking piss out of each other? She drove her head into the fucking mat, which was amazing. Brandon, go ahead. You go first.
Tom Nakano, a lot of fun this year. One of the people I've enjoyed the most as we get into Joshi wrestling, but Sami Zayn just cannot be denied. He refuses to not be entertaining despite the WWE product. So one for Mr. Zayn.
Chris.
Oh, man, I don't know. You got me here. I have to be the tiebreaker.
No, I'm the tiebreaker.
Oh, you didn't. Okay, you didn't say anything. So, yeah, this is tough. You know what? I'm gonna go. Sami Zayn is, this silly feud with
Paul
Jackass Man,
Knoxman.
Yeah, Knoxville. I mean, I think we said it before. Knoxville just brings joy to whatever aspect of my life he pops up in. So, yeah, I think I'll go with Sami Zayn.
Okay.
Yeah, he was insane. He was doing, what was he doing? A documentary for a while about how he was getting hosed.
The conspiracy.
Yeah. Let's go.
That
with
was
Sami.
genius.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
He was working with Brock Lesnar. Him and Brock Lesnar were in a program together. And to Brandon's point, despite all WWE's ability to try to not make him part of the main storyline, he's always amazing to watch. Even if you're just watching the clips online, he's amazing.
You guys catch the new Jackass yet?
No, not yet. Chris,
still haven't. No.
I did watch Drive My Car too, and I watched Macbeth, the tragedy of Macbeth.
Ooh,
yeah, it's a good one.
Nice.
All right, we're all done with the Western Conference. We're done with that. We're all finished up. We're going to move on to the Eastern Conference. First things first, the Northeast Conference played in Maine. Let's do a play-in. Winner will face Utami Hayashishita. Play it. Here we go. Chris, you're going to go first. The man. She only returned a little while ago after giving childbirth. Becky Lynch, current WWE Women's Champion, Raw, I believe, versus a guy who just disappears, comes back, runs into the ring, makes everybody believe he can beat everybody, and then loses again, but he's still a lot of fun to watch. Lance Archer. Chris, go ahead.
So I really want to root for Lance Archer here, but I don't think I can. I think Becky Lynch is like pure wrestling star power at this point. So as much as I don't want to do it, I got to go with Becky Lynch here.
Brandon?
Okay, I'll go the exact opposite direction as Chris. Becky Lynch, last professional wrestler to draw a tear to my eye at WrestleMania. Granted, I was had a few too many to drink, so I came out a little bit easier than normal. Most years, she would probably go to the Final Four for me, but not this one. Lance Archer, highly entertaining, partially responsible for the biggest laugh of the last calendar year at Revolution. So I'm going to put one for Lance.
You beat me to it. I was going to say Becky Lynch. She wasn't around for much, but she ran right into the title. She unceremoniously dumped Bianca Belair out of the title, which was fucking inexcusable. WWE booking. Thank you very much. Lance Archer brought us Sake the Nake.
Yeah, I forgot. How did I
just
forget
for
about that?
Just for the posterity of this podcast and our love for Sake the Nake, I got to go with Lance Archer.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I feel like I failed you guys right there.
That's okay.
No, I didn't. I did because I completely, not my vote, but just the simple fact I forgot about Sake the Nake. If I had remembered him, my vote would have been different.
That brings us to our first matchup in the wouldn't recognize him shitting in a trough next to me conference. Utami Hayashishita, Stardom, the red belt champ for most of the year. She had a great feud with Syuri against Lance Archer. Brandon, you're up first.
Yeah, much like you labeled when it comes to Lance Archer, highly entertaining, gets you convinced he could knock somebody out, but he cannot. Utami Hayashishita, Jesus, is moving on in this one. One of the biggest names. It seems like some of the most entertaining. Yeah, literally one of the biggest names, and some of the most entertaining matches we've watched in the last year. So onward.
Chris?
I have to vote for Lance Archer just because I forgot about Sake the Nake last round. So I have to. I got to make up for it. I got to make up for Sake the Nake.
All right. Utami Hayashishita goes through.
She's also the only person in this bracket labeled with the seed, so she's the only one seed. That would have been a big 16.
Obviously a number one. Like I was like, no one else gets a number one except for her. All right. Next matchup as I edit. Stardom High Speed Champ, Azumi versus Broke Ass Neck, Big E. Former WWE SmackDown Champ. He was a lot of fun to watch when I got to watch him. Chris, you're up first.
It's easy for me, Big E. Superstar. Brandon? Great at everything.
Yeah, Azumi, not one of my favorites in Stardom. And the other guy has a Netflix Pick Your Own Adventure story that I watched for much longer than I ever should have, considering it's for people 4 and under. But for that reason alone, he's moving on.
Big E gets the broken neck vote for me. He's through. Broke his neck. All right, let's move on. Next matchup. This is a tough
got
one.
lucky. That was a gnarly one.
Yeah. This is a tough one. Stardom's former babyface, super babyface. One of the best stories. I voted best story of the year of No Mercy. Dark Starlight Kid versus one of the podcast's favorite guys. FTW made up champ, Ricky Starks. Chris, go ahead.
Well, we're giving out broke ass neck awards and passing people on having broke ass necks, but Ricky Starks is pure joy. That Starlight Kid storyline was awesome. That Starlight Kid match we watched a few weeks ago, about a month ago, was another thing that was just fucking amazing. But Ricky Starks has brought me both on commentary and his storyline, and that bump he took and off that ladder when he almost died again. Was it last year when he was feuding with Brian Cage, and when Cage came out, he pointed to his neck.
Yeah,
my neck.
Don't
He does
hurt my
that thing
neck.
with his head. Don't hurt my neck. So yeah, I'm going Ricky Starks all the way here.
Brendan.
Well, let's kick it over to you, Jim, because I'm going to go Starlight Kid. Ricky Starks. When you think tournament wise, one of those names you see and be like, boy, he could win this one year, but probably not yet, considering that the Starlight Kid story that is partially responsible for kind of getting us into, at least getting me into Joshi. So,
Well, I'm going to pick Starlight Kid. But to argue against Ricky Starks, he was missing a lot of the year. And then whether that has to do with an injury or not, at times he just wasn't on TV. They had him on commentary, stumbling, bumbling on commentary. And it's been entertainment, but Starlight Kid is in main events throughout the entire year. I got to go with Starlight Kid.
he's one that could have knocked a lot of people out of this. So, but hey, You're not going to win it all. Who cares when you go out?
Next, the New Day. So with the New Day, we're going with what the hell's their names?
Kofi and Xavier Woods.
And Xavier Woods versus former Raw champ, Big Bobby Lashley. Remember Bobby Lashley was just in a storyline with Lana? Like a wedding storyline. They were fucking in a hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was cheating on her husband.
Rusev was getting cuckolded.
Yeah, he was. Cuckold. He was a cuckold.
Cuckold. Cuckold. Is that how you pronounce it? Cuckold?
That's cuckold.
Cuckolded.
I like cuckold better. Like cuckold.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Chris, go ahead.
I don't know. This is one of them ones where I don't know what the fuck have either of these two teams, these three people done in the entire year that I can remember. I just think the New Day, being as big as they are and as popular as they are, it's hard to knock them out in the first round. So I'm going to go New Day on this one, not because of anything other than their popularity. People love New Day, but I haven't seen either of these people, I guess we would say. I haven't seen the New Day or Bobby Lashley do shit in 365 days.
Right.
And if I did, I can't remember any of it.
So who'd you take?
I took the New Day.
New Day. Brandon.
And Choose Your Own Adventure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking the same as you here, Chris. I was pumped for Lashley when he was getting into the title picture and getting it, but that was probably over a year ago at this point. And since then, Lord fucking knows what he's been doing.
Fucking
boring ass main events.
Yeah, New Day based on Choose Your Own Adventure. You guys convinced me.
Little
Not that it
CYA.
mattered. You already won. All right, next up, promo battle. Kenta of New Japan Pro Wrestling versus AEW Women's Champ, Britt Baker. Brandon, good.
Kenta coming over, potato match. He's throwing potato fight on AEW Dynamite at Daly's Plaza.
That? Oh, God.
He got hit with a box of potatoes. And then getting his damn head smashed in a wild match with Tanahashi. One of the most entertaining matches I've seen. Britt Baker, I'm not much of a fan of her relative to the crowd. I don't have a problem with her, but relative to her adoration, not much of a fan. So Kenta, no brainer here for me.
Chris, good.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking to myself, I didn't know who to pick here because Britt Baker's so popular with the fans. She's been the women's champion for the entire year. But She didn't get hit with a box of potatoes by John Moxley, so I'm going Kenta. Kenta's plus he told Kenny Omega, shut the fuck up. I mean, come on, man.
He had a
Kenta
love
all the
affair
way.
with Yoshihashi's stick.
Yeah. All kinds of shit. Kenta made shit happen in a year that sucked.
So the match against Tanahashi, his battle against his biggest feud was against that fucking ladder. I'm going to vote for Britt Baker just so we don't get hate mail. So Kenta goes through.
Yeah, I mean, Britt Baker had that amazing match with Thunder Rosa, but come on, just those couple moments we laid out, what's funnier than that?
Yeah, have you listened to this podcast? It has to be stupid for us to get on board.
Well, the other thing is like Britt Baker pretty much is like they were in reruns, right? They've gone through the entire women's division, and we're just going to go through it again, starting with the one we just left.
Yeah, I know.
You know, so it's like whatever. They showed an episode of whatever television show, and then after that they showed it in reverse.
Yeah.
And that's what's going on right now. It's just like whatever.
They turn it backwards on the other sides of the ring and did the same outcome though.
Yeah.
Next up, New Japan Pro Wrestling World Champion Kazuchika Okada, the Rainmaker, versus former WWE Women's Champ. I'm assuming SmackDown, Raw. I don't know. A favorite of our show, Bianca Belair. Chris, go ahead.
There's in no fucking world do you have Okada losing the first round to anything to anybody. I don't care who the fuck it is. So I'm going Okada. He wore the Inoki coat. Fucking ruled. It's a no-brainer. Okada.
Nice. Brandon?
Yeah, New Japan literally handed the company back over to this shepherd here to try to make it through the rest of the pandemic in Japan. This is Okada.
Yeah. We love Bianca Belair, but come on. It's Okada. All right. Next. Red Dragon versus Eddie Kingston. Now, Red Dragon's in here because of their NXT work, too. I just put them under the Red Dragon moniker. And Mr. Kingston has been amazing, even though he always loses. But he's fun to watch, and he's an amazing promo. Brandon, go.
Yeah, this is Eddie to me. I'm not a giant NXT guy. I don't give a fuck about Red Dragon and AEW. Eddie Kingston's topic of conversation week after week.
Chris?
King Stone, move on. I don't even want to get into it. I bitched about Red Dragon a couple weeks ago.
I agree. King Stone. Next up. Oh, boy. Here we go. Two of the greatest professional wrestlers to ever lace up the boots. We got Stardom's Mayu Iwatani, who, mind you, is only 28. She's still got a good 10 years left in her life, versus the ace, Hiroshi Tanahashi. Chris, I think you're first.
Do I have a towel with Mayu Iwatani's sweat draped over the top of my Christmas tree every year?
That's true.
Yeah, so
I think we know where you're going.
I think we know where I'm going. The
Brandon.
ace of the universe. You only get one talent
100.
like his in 100 years.
100
So you got to
years.
go with him.
That's it.
Yeah.
There's one in 100-year high-flying star of the universe. He's moving on.
There he is. I
Fly
got
in
the
your
towel
ears.
too. You bought the towel? I got the towel
I
too.
did. I got the towel.
I like embarrassing
We-
people with it on the beach.
Yeah. My girlfriend's family thought I was real cool when I laid that down on OBX.
Yeah, I got that one, and I
Trying to
have the
get it.
Rainmaker, yellow Rainmaker Bill one.
There we
Really
go.
cool. Coolest dudes in town.
Look at
I'm
me.
sorry,
I'm
Mayu.
wrestling.
Maya, you're amazing, but we're talking about fucking the most beautiful man to ever lace up.
Can you spray a little SPF on my bald spot before I lay down on my Tanahashi towel? My Hiroshi Tanahashi?
All right, on to the next. The Southeast Conference performed live all these matches in Tampa, Florida, home of AEW. We're in the Carney Conference. First up, this is tough. This is going to be a good one. Evil, New Japan Pro Wrestling's most hated wrestler around the world. Western fans have stopped watching New Japan Pro Wrestling because of Evil. They hate him so much. The House of Torture versus indie wrestling darling Adam Cole. Brandon, you're up first.
Geez, this is a tough one. I flip-flopped twice while I heard you talking. I almost want to hate pick Evil, but man, I'm thinking of when we were at that live show at the Liacouras Center. I don't think anybody got a louder pop when they came out than Adam Cole. For that reason alone, I'll respect it.
Chris.
So let me ask you this. This was all done randomly?
Completely random.
Yeah, and we ended up getting, in the first round, we had both Sammy Guevara and the woman he claimed he wanted to rape.
Yes.
And then we had the two Halloween Adventure dudes.
We do. How did we do that?
All in the first round. And as much as I want to hate pick Evil, I can't do it. I got to go Adam Cole on this one.
Adam Cole wins, but I'm hate picking Evil.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm in agreement with Brandon. I want to hate pick Evil so bad, but I can't.
Just to piss people off. I pick Evil. Send me hate mail. Next. TJPW champ. The pink striker, Mio Yamashita, who we haven't watched much of lately because of our workload in real life, our workload, versus everybody loves her, Julia of Stardom. Chris, you're up.
So just out of sheer lack of familiarity with Mayu Yamashita, I have to.
We saw her live.
Yamashita, did we? Oh, what at
what the fuck's that
Chikara?
company called? Chikara.
Yeah, was she? Wait, she's the one? Did she came to the U.S. and then immediately was like, "Get me the fuck out of here! I'm going to die."
That was Yuka Sakazaki.
Yuka Sakazaki. Okay, yeah,
she was there too.
Yeah,
she was.
I know she was. I just wasn't sure. I'm going to go. Julia has a great. It's her ability to emote and telling stories that got me kind of started getting the ball rolling with Stardom with me. Can't understand a word that she's saying, but I can understand what she's trying to say just by the way she acts. So yeah, Julia.
Brandon.
Yeah, the one true goddess of Stardom for me, Julia.
So fucking
is that what it is? The goddess of Stardom.
She's impossibly good looking.
Is it the
Cinderella
goddess?
Cinderella,
the Cinderella goddess
of princesses and
princesses.
that dude.
All the princesses are in TJPW. Everything's a princess over there.
Oh, okay.
It's all Cinderella.
God damn.
Stardom. But yeah, she is the true Cinderella. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I also got to go with Julia. She rolls. Speaks English too, by the way. Moving on. New Japan Pro Wrestling junior champ for most of the years. I don't know. You could forget it because we didn't fucking watch it. Robbie Eagles, he's included because he was champ, versus another Aussie, two Aussies, Rhea Ripley, was she a champ at some point? Did we just include her because she's ridiculous looking and we love her? Brandon, you're up.
I don't know.
Robbie Eagles versus Rhea Ripley. They're Aussies.
Bob Eagles, Bo Biggles. I'm going.
Eagles.
Bo Biggles. Talk about stupid moments of the year. The 4-minute long WrestleMania entrance for Rhea Ripley. With that live performance.
Oh
my God! Moving on with that alone. Remember that?
I forgot all about that.
The woman just screaming.
Oh, so bad.
Bo Biggles is
Chris.
I got nothing on Robbie Eagles. I got to go Rhea Ripley. I don't know shit about Robbie Eagles. I don't fucking care either.
There you go. Rhea Rips. All right, next up. I don't think we really need to vote on this one. Poor Rio. No. She goes up against Bryan Danielson. Shall I just push Bryan Danielson through?
Yeah, I think it's
the most perfect wrestler of all time, according to William Regal.
Yep. Moving on. Sorry, Rio. You're gone. WWE SmackDown Tag Champions, the Usos versus former New Japan Pro Wrestling champ, held the title through most of the pandemic, or a lot of the pandemic. The year of No Mercy. Shingo Takagi. Chris, you're up.
It's easy for me, Shingo. Dude's a fucking beast.
That dude rules. Brandon, who you got?
Yeah, this isn't a DUI getting contest. Shingo Takagi's moving on.
This isn't it. Get drunk and yelling at your girlfriend on the side of the road. God.
The cops show up.
Fucking piece of shit.
Shingo Takagi through. All right, here he is, the man, the myth, the legend. El Desperado. Yeah, he goes through. Now, El Desperado, New Japan Pro Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Champ versus the one and only Roman Reigns. Brandon.
Yeah, Tribal Chief holding down Team Blue. I don't know how many people are watching, but more than watching AEW. He moves on.
Right. Chris.
You already typed it in. I'm there. I'm with you. I'm with you. Hey, as much as El Desperado also drew a bad hand here.
Yeah. He was in the Rio slot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites, El Desperado. But come on, Roman. Did you ever have a cardboard cutout of El Desperado in your house? Because I had Roman Reigns. So there you go. All right, next up. The biggest loser in AEW history, but we love him so much. Andrade El Idolo versus the cutest in the world, TJPW's Maki Ito. Chris, you're up.
Yeah, this is another one. It's no chance. Fucking Andrade. Dude's so good. Just on his trying to purchase Darby Allin's services and calling Sting his dad, I believe, at one point. Dude, fucking, yes, I'm with it.
Brandon?
Yeah, just got a $20 Cash App from El Idolo, just bribed his way into the second round. Yeah. Either way, El Idolo was never responsible for actually getting my significant other yell at me just with the pure noise coming out of the TV. Maki Ito was, so she's out.
I love Maki Ito, but come on. We love Andrade. He's the house favorite around here. All right, last matchup, another one that's a push through. FWC, the Stardom women's champs. Well, they are all women. The Stardom tag team champs, Fukuoka Crazy versus CM Punk. I mean, come on. He's only did half the year, and he's the most talked about fucking professional wrestler on the planet. Do we really need to vote on this?
No.
Nope.
Have any thoughts you want to say before we move on to the next round? We're really done with the Carney conference. We've moved on. Okay. Poopy Pants conference. The second round. First matchup. Sayakami Tani. Stardom versus WWE's Sasha Banks. I believe, Chris, you're up.
I'll go. Got to go with the Mandalorian over there. Sasha Banks. Superstar. Don't even know what she did. Didn't watch it at all. But
you didn't?
Nah, I'm talking about WWE. I watched WWE for God knows how. But, part of the first women's and woman of color main event in WrestleMania history. So
that's true.
Fucking A, let's do it.
That's right. Brandon.
Yeah, last point there just swung my vote. I don't think Kamatani. Yeah, this is a pro Kamatani podcast, but I don't think anything she did tops that. So,
I mean, they technically have main events that are people of color as well. But we're not talking about the United States. Sasha Banks
in Tampa, Florida, though, bro.
In Tampa, Florida, ain't happening.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's push it through. There we go. Here's a big one. AEW's Jon Moxley versus WWE's Brock Lesnar. Brandon, go ahead.
Oh my God, I don't know who I'm gonna pick. I think I'm just gonna go spit out Brock Lesnar. Let's do it.
Chris, you're up.
So this is a tough one, man.
I just headbutted the mic, sorry.
I'm gonna spit out Jon Moxley.
Oh shit, I'm the tiebreaker?
Yeah.
All right.
Back to the dealer.
Mm-hmm. Go with Jon Moxley. Reason being that he is part of a burgeoning company and he is always out there. He is the star of the show. He steals the spotlight every time he's out there, no matter who he's against. He can wrestle multiple different styles. He admitted his addiction, went and got help. He looks a million times better after coming back. And I got to push one of the biggest stars in AEW through, since we are pretty much a AEW podcast. So I'm going with Jon Moxley.
He was also doing that shit where he was showing up at random indie shows and popping these small crowds, which rules.
Yeah, he was like the GCW champ for a while.
Yeah.
Fucking wild. Didn't Matt Cardona dress up like him or something? Or it was the other way around? Good stuff.
I think Cardona. Yeah, I think it was everyone thought it was going to be Moxley and it was Cardona.
Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, Moxley. Okay, next. Siri. Stardom champ, red belt champ. Former UFC fighter versus MJF. I think, Brandon, you're up.
I'm going to go.
This time. We'll go with Chris first.
All right.
At first glance, I'm going to say MJF. His work's been great this year. I mean, we shit on him for his basic canned heat, cheap heat promos that he does, but people are invested in it. So got some that genuine hate going on there. So I'm going to go with MJF.
All right. Brandon, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll go MJF too. I think the canned heat cheap stuff looks a little bit better when juxtaposed against like his ability to turn it up, which he showed in recent months. And it's just, I mean, it's just a bigger deal than Shuri. I can't have him go out so early.
It's funny to talk about this because like you reflect on when he was feuding with Jericho and it fucking sucked. But the internet, the fucking AEW fans love this. But then he feuds with CM Punk and it's been fucking brilliant.
Yeah, which I don't want to pick because the internet likes something when I didn't, but
no, of course not.
It's tough. That's a tough one.
Yeah. All right, next up, Matt Cardona with all the titles versus Charlotte Flair. I think Chris is up. I'm losing track all the time.
No, I went last time.
Okay, Brandon, you're up.
Let's go Cardona. He showed out at the Q Mart. I respect that. Quakerstown Farmers Market. Charlotte Flair wasn't there. Not as accessible. Not as memorable.
Chris, next.
Yeah, I'll go.
Quote? Sorry.
I'm gonna go Cardona too. Cardone's doing something different. Charlotte Flair's doing the same shit she's always done. Her old man being a fucking disgusting mess can only get you so far.
Matt Cardona, Carney Cardona, working every indie show ever. I got to vote for Charlotte Flair just to save face. So,
yeah, that's an outrage. That's our first outrageous one.
That's the super outrageous one. So, I voted for Charlotte Flair. Send them hate mail. Okay, next. Oh, we're moving on. Next bracket, the NFT conference. We're whittling down the Sweet 16 pretty quickly. Okay, here's a big matchup. Adam Page, the AEW champ, versus Jade Cargill, the TBS champ. I think, Chris, you're up.
Yeah, I'm going to take Adam Page. He's the champion of AEW. He's had a couple of really good matches this past year. Jade Cargill's awesome, but she's also clunky as fuck from time to time. And some of those squash matches, although they are squash matches, they're more like you're not laughing. You're laughing at them. You ain't laughing with them. So I'll go with Adam Page on this one.
Brandon.
Yeah, Cargill falls in that bucket of fast forward 3 years. She could speed to the Final Four in my mind, but not today.
Adam Page gets through because he's friends with Hungy. All right, next up. Big Wardlow versus Kenneth Omegas. Brandon.
Wardlow lost one of the worst pre-planned mixed martial arts matches I've ever seen in my life. So he loses to Kenny Omega. Come on.
So good. Chris.
Yeah, I don't think we could possibly live with ourselves if we have Wardlow knock out Finn Balor and Kenny Omega in the same fucking tournament.
Oh my God, he beat Phil Balor. I just realized that. Holy shit.
Yeah, well, that's not Finn Balor's fault. That's their fucking incoherent fucking writing's fault.
This is going to be a wild Sweet 16. Next up. Kenneth Omega.
Oh no.
Lucha Bros.
Oh,
Podcast favorite versus another podcast favorite, Miro. Chris, you get to go first.
yeah, it's easy for me, man. It's not easy, but I know who my pick is. It's Lucha Bros. Lucha Bros have had better, in my opinion, probably one of the best matches of last year. So let's go Lucha Bros.
They won our best match of the year
Yeah,
against the team that got knocked out in the first round. Fuck 'em.
yeah, fuck them.
Brennan.
Yeah. 10 out of 10 entertainment value out of both of them. But, if you're looking at secondary, tertiary factors, Lucha Bros were pretty much there all year, at least one of the two of them. I think that's what it is for third, tertiary. But
Tertiary.
Yeah, you're right. Jimmy's tertiary.
I was called tertiary by a customer at a bar that I used to work at. She said, "You tertiary." I just laughed when. Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay,
What do you
bye.
want from me? See ya. Next matchup: Jurassic Express, the AEW Tag Champs, versus the always entertaining Samuel Zayn. Chris, you're up.
I'm only letting Jurassic Express only gets one win. I'm going with Samuel Zayn. I can't deal with fucking whatever happened to the little guy that was with them. Marco's.
Oh, he got let go. Marco.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he got let go.
Yeah. So
Or
Jurassic
not
Express
re-signed. I don't think they just didn't up his.
didn't re-sign. Yeah.
contract.
All right. Sami Zaniac. He's a maniac.
True. Does he still come out to the skank music?
I think so.
Does he?
I don't know. It would help if I watched.
Brandon.
yeah, Jurassic Express keeps getting referred to on their own show, which they appear on every week as Jungle Express. So that tells you how memorable some of their shit is. So I'm going to go with Sami Zayn.
I will once again save face for the podcast and not upset our AW fans, and I'll say I voted for Jurassic Express, whether I agree with that or not. I'm just going to say it. Next up, the wouldn't recognize him shit in a trough next to me conference. Tommy Hayashishita versus Biggest Eus, Brocus Neckus. Brandon, you're up.
Number 1 overall seed here, Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
Neck, fully functional. Goes to the Sweet 16.
Chris.
Bring it. I'm with her.
Okay. So Tommy in there. Yeah, especially storyline wise. Big E got injured, man. He's not as strong as who Tommy is. Maybe if he was stronger, he'd be in here. So fun. Okay, let's move on. Next up, Starlight Kid versus the New Day. Chris, you're up.
One of the best storylines of the last year. Starlight Kid going through. New Day. Don't even remember what they did. Just knew that I liked them better than Bobby Lashley, who I didn't know anything he did.
Kofi Kingston
Fuck
lasted.
Lana.
That's right. Kofi Kingston
I don't even
lasted
think that
like
was
9
last year.
seconds in the Royal Rumble.
I think that happened.
That was like 2 years.
He tried to do like a handstand and then fell.
Yeah, he tried one of his ridiculous, get back in the ring things, and he wasn't going to win it anyway. So it doesn't really matter.
Right. It worked 12 years in a row. The 1 year it didn't work.
Yeah, and they were probably everybody was probably fucking fucked it up.
And for that reason,
botched.
Yeah,
I'm out.
I'm batting 12 for 13, Holmes. Relax, okay.
Brandon, who you got?
Yeah, for that reason, I'm out. 12 seconds in the Rumble. Starlight Kid rocked.
She's the best. She's fucking awesome. And she's 20 years old, ladies and gentlemen. She's going to be around for a long time. Next up, here's a big one. Kenta versus Kazuchika Okada, the Rainmaker. Chris, you're up, I think. Brandon, you're up. I don't know who's up. Somebody go.
Doesn't matter. I'll go.
Doesn't. None of this matters.
I'll go. I want to vote for Kenta, but I think you can't not vote for Okada.
The Rainmaker,
Plus,
greatest wrestler
yeah.
on the fucking planet.
Yeah, man. And that fucking Inoki robe.
Mm-hmm.
Can't get past it.
And he cries a lot, which is awesome. Brandon?
Yeah, it's Okada.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kenta.
Next up. Oh, boy. Eddie Kingston versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. Brandon, you're up.
I'm gonna go Eddie Kingston here. Only
We're
because
also going to go to hell. But that's
yeah,
cool.
I know. Last 12 months is like entertainment on this podcast. It's a lot of it has been Kingston. I mean, I started off saying he looked like a plumber that bought all of his gear at TJ Maxx before he got to the show, and we just watched him beat Jericho, and everyone's excited for it. So Tana fucking rules. You know, if this was an all time, that would obviously he would be maybe the winner, but this is total annihilation, man.
This is the year of total annihilation. People got to get annihilated, and Tanahashi is annihilated. Chris, thoughts?
Well, not yet.
Not yet. Chris, are you muted?
Yeah, no, I'm thinking. Okay. I don't want to do it, but Brandon made some really good points. Eddie Kingston's been involved in something all year long, one thing or another, even when he's just trying to eat his brownie. And Tana, you know, has got that fucking New Japan didn't do shit and really sucked all year long thing going on. So, although the ladder.
The ladder, dude.
The giant ladder. Yeah,
US
the giant ladder
champ,
rolls. Tanahashi. Giant ladder rolls. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Eddie Kingston. We fucking
giant
love you.
ladder. Yeah.
That giant ladder match is fucking ridiculous.
Yes. The ladder. Just the ladder itself.
I love him. But Tanahashi, man. You can believe he's going to win any match, even if he's on the back end of his career and he loses a lot. But that ladder match, man, so fucking good. All right, Carney Conference. Here we go. Adam Cole, Super Kickman, versus Julia, who has a much better musculature than Adam Cole ever did. Chris, you're up.
So, Julia, awesome. All year round. All year long, she was awesome. Adam Cole was a heel that wore video game gear to the fucking ring as the main event of a fucking pay-per-view. I am so, like, you know that was his decision, and it really makes me question his, like, I mean, like, what the fuck is going on in his fucking head where he thought that was a good idea? That completely tanks his entire year for me. Not that his year was that great. He didn't do shit. He was in a bunch of fucking promos yelling at a guy behind a camera, which they're always doing. He really, I mean, he was undefeated, but he didn't really wrestle anybody. He was in a bunch of tag team matches. Now we're back to fucking Undisputed Era on AEW. So we're just continuing that storyline. So fucking Julia all the way. And it made me a closer fucking call if he didn't wear that dumbass Halo gear. It drives me fucking crazy.
The point about that, too, is like, okay, Adam Cole wore this Halo gear and he looked like a fucking total dork. Julia got her hair cut, shaved. She looked cooler. And she wore full pirate gear and somehow looked cool. And everybody knows I hate fucking pirates. And she looked real cool. Brandon's up.
Wait, everybody knows that you hate pirates.
Yeah, I didn't know that at all.
Oh, you didn't know that? Oh yeah, I'm anti-pirate. You don't know that?
Why do you hate pirates?
Yeah,
they're stupid.
The POCs?
They're stupid. Pirates, they're stupid.
What about what about you know,
legit
Captain,
pirates like Somali, East
like
African
Somali,
pirates?
East
No, they're
African
awesome.
Pirates. Okay.
But
right.
yo ho ho and a bottle of rum, it's so fucking stupid. I hate it. Grog.
Okay.
Grog's
Dirty.
terrible.
So dirty.
Scurvy, the only thing I like.
What do you think their fucking the crotch of their pants smells like?
You know, they're all banging, which is, I mean, I guess that's cool. You know, they're all fucking, which is cool. If you want to fuck,
Whatever,
that's cool.
Yeah, sure.
But you have to say like "yar" when you're fucking.
I don't think any pirate ever did that. To be honest with you,
I've watched Pirates of the Caribbean, and yeah, they did.
Fucking Johnny Depp.
Ask my wife when you see her how much I hate pirates. We went to Salem, Massachusetts, which is like kind of piratey as well as witches. And she still laughs to this day. We went past this pirate museum and we were 3 blocks away, and it was like I could detect it was getting close. I started going, oh fuck, here we go. And there's some dude in the street going, arr, arr. I was like, he walked up to me and he started arr, arr, arr. And I'm like, all right, man, get the hell away from me. I don't want nothing to do with this.
Salem is piratey?
Yeah, it's piratey.
That's weird.
She walking the streets of Salem, everybody's all happy, and the pirate, they're all excited to see the pirate, and the pirate's there, and he walks up to Jim, and he's like, okay, all right, I get it. Get away from me.
Get away from me, yeah.
You were the only dude that fucking month that wasn't like, oh, look, a pirate.
Oh, here we go. There was a guy on the Ocean City, New Jersey boardwalk who was like trying to sell stuff, and he was dressed as a pirate. And I was going, as soon as I seen him, I was like, oh, here we go. Here we go. Arr. Peg leg Pete over here. Arr. Yeah, I don't like pirates.
Oh, God.
Did I make a good argument? Do you guys?
Yeah, you made a great argument. Pirates suck.
I mean, you described what pirates do and then said that you hate it. I don't know. I don't know.
It makes sense in my mind. But who's your thought? Who's your pick, Brandon?
Yeah.
Adam Cole or Julia?
I think Adam Cole. I think watching NXT and him standing with his arms out in an empty warehouse going, this is my show. This is my company. And then shortly after leaving and then disrespecting the Master Chief. This is Julia by a mile here.
I got to go Julia. She is by far one of the coolest professional wrestlers on the planet. Nobody can touch how cool she is. She could shit a ring like I've done in this podcast, and she'd still be cooler than anybody else. Next up, actual pirate from Australia, Rhea Ripley, versus Bryan Danielson. Do we really need to discuss this?
No.
Let's put in Rhea Ripley goes through.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to see them both naked. So that ties that part. All right, next up. Shingo Takagi versus Roman Reigns. Brandon.
Two guys holding down shows that we didn't want to watch very often. But
Right.
I don't know. I don't think anybody had a Shingo Takagi cardboard cut out. So this is just Roman off of pure reputation alone.
Chris.
For me.
I'm going with Roman.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
I love Shingo. Maybe if they put on better shows in Japan, we'd watch more of it. But we stopped watching WWE, but we still know that Roman Reigns fucking rules. All right, last matchup in the Carney Conference. And then we have our Sweet 16. Andrade El Idolo versus CM Punk. Chris.
This is a tough one. Well, it's not a tough one. I love Andrade, but he loses all the time. CM Punk, biggest news in wrestling last year. It's CM Punk goes through.
Brandon.
Yep. El Idolo, sad to see him go. Happy to watch him leave, you know?
Oh, man, we got some big matchups in this next round. Let's get going. Sweet 16 time. Group Dance Conference. Here we go. Sasha Banks versus Jon Moxley. I'm assuming Chris walked away. Brandon, you're up.
Yeah, I don't give no fucks about no Boba Fett, no Mandalorian. I even though I picked against Jon Moxley in the last round, he's moving on here. Wild Thing coming out of the crowd. Big year for him.
Yep. Chris there?
Chris is gone, so you're up, Jim. I think we
Jon
can
Moxley.
probably
Jon Moxley's there.
null his vote out here.
Yeah.
Well, he goes for part Dukes.
Let's see how many we
his
can get
doo-doo.
through while he's taking a shit.
Oh,
MJF versus Matt Cardona. Who you got, Brandon?
Chris, did you just run over, pull your gym shorts down, just like blat, and then go back?
Let me tell you something. I'll go real quick. I have been mistaking the fact that my cardio is really good with the fact that I'm hydrated, and they are two totally different things. And I injured myself being dehydrated, I think, last week. So I've been pounding down the liquids, and it just caught up to me. Sorry.
Pound Town. Nice. Oh, by the way, Jon Moxley went through.
Yeah,
That's
well,
Sasha Banks.
yeah, that's.
Oh, we'll let you start this one off then, since you're back. MJF versus Matt Cardona.
Oh, Matt Cardona, your fairy tale run has ended.
Brandon.
Yeah, I did not think when we laid this out, especially randomized it, that we'd be pushing MJF all the way through to the Elite Eight with the amount of hours we spent trashing him. But
hey, matchups, man, matchups.
And also, that's,
that's how it is, and that's how it goes.
And also how like he's won us over in the last 2 months. It's been good. All right. On to the NFT conference. Adam Page, the current champ, versus Kenny Omega, the former champ. Brandon, you're up.
Oh my God. This is a tough one for sort of the wrong reasons here. But I'm going to go with Adam Page just because of the sweet relief of his victory, removing Vertigo Kenneth from TV for a little bit of time.
Chris, go ahead.
I'm going to go with Adam Page due to the fact that he doesn't make me hate him at the sight of his face, and the fact that he threw up some LGBTQ support in their last pay-per-view and has been doing it ever since. So, and he trashed Kane. So
Murdered
there
Kane.
you go.
Destroyed Kane.
Yeah. So
if we were to
Good
vote
for him.
just on internet power, Adam Page fucking destroys Kenny Omega. It's no discussion. Omega's out there complaining about video games and protecting his rapist friends, holding shows, weird shit like that. Ugh.
The only memorable like Kenny Omega promo from his title run was the one that he wasn't in when they went into his house and Don Callis was just hanging out by his painting of his overly juiced nude body.
What do you mean you did the Orange Cassidy sunglasses? Good stuff.
That should have been promo of the year and our best
Good
of.
stuff. Good stuff.
Sunglasses, sunglasses, sunglasses. Look at what he did. Look at what he did. Sunglasses. Yeah, that fucking sunglasses.
All right, here we go.
Just F minus.
Adam Page moves on. Next up, Lucha Bros versus Sami Zayn. Brandon.
Sammy, you tried your best to have fun, but your boss prevented you from moving on in my mind here. Lucha Bros.
Chris, you disagree?
Sammy, you tried your best to have fun, but the fun is over.
With Lucha Bros.
Mr. McMahon called and the party's over.
Wouldn't recognize him. Shitting in a trough next to me. Conference. Utami Hayashishita versus Starlight Kid. We have an all Japanese Sweet 16 or whatever this is. Elite 8. Sweet 16? Sweet 16. Chris, you're up.
Best storyline of the year, probably. Starlight Kid.
Brandon.
I'm going to go the other way because Jimmy deserves to be the deciding vote on this.
Yeah, I give you that. I like that. I like that move. It's a very good move. Good move. Put him on the spot.
I'm going with Utami. She was the champ for the whole year. She's my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah. The whole Rose thing. She comes out doing new music. I love Starlight Kid. Story was great, but if I was to do storyline wise, Utami's was dominant for most of the year. That's what I'm taking. No, I'm not. I'm taking Starlight Kid. Starlight Kid's awesome. Starlight Kid.
Oh my God!
You had me torn.
God, what a
Yeah,
maneuver. You swerved this.
Defeat from the hands of victory.
You had me torn. Damn it. Utami, I love you, but I'm sure she's listening. Next up, Okada. Kazuchika Okada versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. 1 in 100 years talent. Hiroshi Tanahashi. Chris, you're up. Or Brandon, you're up.
Yeah, I mean, I already tried to kick this fucker out. As much as I like him, I'm going Okada here. This isn't Towel of the year.
I
have both now.
Yeah, I concur. It's not towel of the year. It's robe of the year.
Probe.
That's right.
Okay. Yep. The champ, Okada. Next up. Oh boy, here we go. This is some juicy shit. I mean, I kind of know who's going through, but here we go. Stardom superstar, former white belt champ, former tag champ, overall all super sexy lady, Julia versus Bryan Danielson. Chris, go ahead.
That's a no-brainer for me, Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, I think if Julia was up one bracket, I probably would push her to the final four. But I mean, this man just keeps me going. Bryan Danielson.
Yeah.
Most perfect wrestler. I'll say it again.
Here we go. Here's a big one. Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. Brandon, you're up first.
Oh God.
You got this.
See, I feel weird picking Roman Reigns just because I don't watch him as much as I watch CM Punk.
Right.
And CM Punk's done some fun stuff, but I'm going to do it anyway because there's far too much of CM Punk's time here was just like 10-minute lectures.
Right. Chris?
I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go CM Punk only because Roman Reigns, number one, is on a product I don't watch as often. But the other thing is that just the simple him coming back was such a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, besides, I get what you're saying, but yeah, I'm going to go with CM Punk. That woke me out of an almost dead sleep. I was sick as a dog that day, and I made sure I woke up to watch him come back on Rampage.
Roman Reigns never made me cry. CM Punk made one single tear come out of my eye.
When was that?
When he came out.
Oh, okay.
CM Punk.
I shit myself when
CM
it came
Punk.
out. I wasn't feeling well. I was like, "Yeah, Punk," all over the bed. Shh, my wife doesn't. I flip the mattress over.
All right, here we go. Final four.
Look in your eyes. Little mist onto the mattress. Oh my God.
Oh
right.
my God.
Something
Had to
feels
shove it
wet.
back in my mouth.
The Elite
Oh,
Eight.
it's not pee. Here we go. John Moxley. Oh yeah, this is the Elite Eight versus MJF. Chris, good.
Mock. MJF, it's been real, brother. Mock.
Brandon.
Yeah, he's met his maker here. This has gone on for too long for what he is, what he's been.
Adam Page versus Lucha Bros. Brandon.
I don't know that Adam Page would take out Penta on his own. You add in the high-flying maneuvers of Mr. Raymond Phoenix, and we got the other half of our final four.
Everybody loves Raymond Phoenix. Raymond, what are you doing on the top rope, Raymond? Chris, your turn.
Who's that supposed to be? His wife or his mom?
His mother.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't agree. I don't believe that Adam Page takes out Penta or Raymond. I'm going with Lucha all the way.
Lucha Bros are through. All right, here we go. Starlight Kid versus Kazuchika Okada. Chris.
No, you got to give it to Okada. You put him in any tournament, he ends up in the final four.
Brandon, who you got?
Yeah, I think it's got to be. Unless you can convince me otherwise, Jim.
I'm not going to. Okada is, in my opinion, the best professional wrestler on the planet. Even on an off year in New Japan Pro Wrestling, his big matches were fucking awesome, and he's been great this year too, from all the stuff I've caught. Bryan Danielson versus CM Punk. Brandon.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I as soon as Chris started talking, I realized I had made a mistake in the last round. CM Punk definitely, probably biggest moment of the year, him coming back. But Daniel Bryan, pipe in the mouth, screaming, wanted him to win so bad. Comes into AEW.
You forget about that. Pipe in the mouth.
Yeah.
Nope.
Bryan Danielson for me.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm going D-Bry all the way. Bry D.
Who's that?
Bry D. Bry D.
Okay.
Bry D. Pipe in the mouth is D-Bry.
Bryan Danielson.
AEW
Oh my God.
Bry D.
Bry D versus D-Bry. Final four. Here we go. John Moxley versus the Lucha Bros. Chris, here we go.
All right. Instead of this, I'll have an explanation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Indulge.
I will indulge you. This is where we will indulge. Believe it. Nobody's even going to get that reference, so I won't say it.
Oh, no.
I am going, you can go as a wrestling fan. I prefer storyline over wrestling matches any day. Lucha Brothers are so fun to fucking watch. But when it comes to an actual telling a story, I think Jon Moxley's been better all year. His personal story is more interesting. As much I hate to do it because I love the Lucha Bros. I love Penta. He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time right now. Let's go Mock. Because Mock is the man. He's been, and I did nothing but talk shit about him for years.
You did,
yeah,
including at the beginning of this year.
Yes, hey, yo,
no, Mock,
you're allowed
you now.
Yeah, Mock mocks me. He mocks me in my sleep. I go to sleep. His face is just floating.
Fat Mock or skinny Mock?
Fiat Mock.
Fat drunk Mock. Brandon? I don't know where the fuck we're going with this, Brandon.
Part of this decision for me is because I feel like Jon Moxley had a bigger year like the prior 12 months as to this past 12 months, and the Lucha Bros emotional storyline wise, I would counter what Chris is saying. While I agree with you, emotional storyline moment, them winning the title with their kids coming out at what was that, Full Gear?
Oh, that's
with the match of the year. That was like, oh my God, this really means more to these guys than I had even imagined. And I will kick it over to you for the tiebreaker, since I think this matchup warrants all three of us.
Oh God, here we go. Okay, so point taken, Brandon. Big moment. They were champs. There were some weird matches where weird stuff happened after that. Ray Phoenix leaves because he injures himself or gets injured. But then you could say like Moxley, he entered a substance abuse program, so he was injured, quote unquote injured. Moxley's whole run with Eddie Kingston was awesome though. But if we were to do storyline wise, Lucha Bros had the championship and Jon Moxley never did. Right? Not in the year of No Mercy, correct? He was not the champ. Am I wrong there?
Let's look it up. If this is going to be that big of a factor. AEW title history.
Use March 1st as the cutoff date of the year of No Mercy.
So December 2nd, 2020, he gave it up.
He lost to Yomiyaga. Lucha Bros were champs. Mox was not. I'm going with Lucha Bros. Add a little spice to our matchups. Ooh. That's sad. I didn't want to say goodbye to Jon Moxley, but I'm going to use fake logic and fake facts because none of
what about
titles don't mean shit.
If Moxley was GCW champion, does that?
No one cares.
That's not helping his cause. I think Lucha Bros were also AAA champs too. If we want to do that,
they were. They lost them to
FTR.
FTR wearing green gear.
Yeah, the Tortugas.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. The other matchup: Kazuchika Okada, New Japan Pro Wrestling superstar, versus Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon. Brandon, you're up first. Another tough one.
I think you guys know what I'm doing here.
I know what
this is. This is Bryan Danielson for me. I know you. Yeah, I don't want to argue with you if you think Okada's a better wrestler. I wouldn't disagree. But just bigger overall year. It wasn't New Japan. That's where I'm at.
Chris, go.
Yeah. This isn't difficult for me. New Japan in general was a complete fucking snorefest all year. Okada had some great matches, but I was more interested in what Bryan Danielson was doing on a week-to-week basis. So I'm going to go Bryan Danielson.
I'm with you too. No disagreement there. I love Kazuchika Okada, and it felt like everything was right with the world in New Japan. But as with every year in New Japan, whether it's open or closed, the beginning of the new year after Wrestle Kingdom usually is kind of snooze fest as we work through to get to New Japan Cup. Now, New Japan Cup's happening. A couple of things have happened that were fun. I've watched a bunch of it on the treadmill. So come whatever next year is after the year of total annihilation, maybe we'll get the year of total redemption. Maybe Okada will win when we do this next year, if we do it next year. But Bryan Danielson's there. Got the final. Here we go. Lucha Bros versus Danielson. Honestly, I don't think we're going to have much to argue about here, but we can talk about it. Chris, go ahead.
I don't have anything to say. I think it's pretty, I think Danielson by a landslide. It's UNLV Duke.
Yeah.
The 80s, late 80s, early 90s basketball reference, in case you're not old enough to know.
Jerry Tarkanian.
Tark the Shark.
Tark.
Grandmama.
Yeah.
Larry Johnson. Do you know my grandmama?
I
There once was an old lady who lived in a shoe. She played so much basketball, she didn't know what to do. Remember that? Fucking one of the greatest ads of all time.
They were great. Yeah, Brandon.
I heard some crazy shit about Jerry Tarkanian because now that Showtime Lakers series is coming out on HBO, that they tried to hire him. This is completely off topic. They tried to hire him to coach the Showtime Lakers, and someone in Las Vegas murdered his agent / best friend.
Oh my God.
Really?
Almost as a threat to you're not fucking leaving.
Oh shit. So who you thinking?
Yeah. Jerry Tarkanian.
Jerry Tarkanian with the win.
I'm taking Danielson, and I think the surprising part about this is that I don't even think that this was the best of him. I think he has a potential to go even beyond these past 12 months.
Right. There's not much to discuss here. Bryan Danielson, he is our overall winner. According to us, the best professional wrestler.
I don't know what the criteria are.
There's none. There's none. And if you disagree, hey, man, make your own podcast. You can talk about it. But you won't be as funny as our poop talk. So Bryan Danielson wins. Any final thoughts, Brandon?
No, I almost feel guilty because, as soon as it started, I'm like, I'm fucking picking Bryan Danielson. So I hope I didn't sway any of your votes. I don't think I did, though.
No. You didn't sway me at all. Chris?
Yeah, no, I actually didn't even think about it. And then when we looked at this thing, and I think it was pretty obvious Bryan Danielson was going to be the guy.
Yeah.
Was there anyone in here that that he didn't match up against that you thought could have won and been in a different slate? I don't think so.
No.
No. I think I don't know. If we watched more WWE, maybe one of the women champs, because their women's division is really good, could have made it to the Final Four. If listeners at home, if you've been listening from the beginning, we're not as high on Kenny Omega as some people are that watch AEW every week. So, if this was 2016, would it be Kenny Omega going through here? Who knows? Kenny Omega, Okada
probably.
Yeah. It kind of opens up the idea that if we were to do this again next year, we could have Okada versus Danielson in the final, or Okada winning, or Kenny Omega comes back and has an amazing year, or MJF fulfills his potential as a young talent and he just dominates. You know what I mean? There's
no Jay White, no Kota Ibushi in the bracket.
Right, not at all. They're guys that are missing. Julia might go work for WWE. All of a sudden, she's at the top of fucking. You know what I mean? There's all kinds of possibilities. That'd be insane. Of course, when one of my favorites from Stardom goes and works for WWE, they just disappear off my radar. I don't watch them anymore because I don't watch WWE, and it's sad, but whatever. You never know, man. But this was fun. I think this is fun. I think we should do this again. We should do more stuff like this. You guys agree?
Brandon? Yes, definitely.
Chris? Yes, excellent.
Yeah. Instead of rehashing what happened on Rampage and
episode number 431.
What did you think about what you saw?
That you just watched.
We all just watched.
Yeah.
And then it steers into a shit conversation.
About pooping. It's more fun sometimes than the wrestling. All right. Let's get out of here. We will be back next week for the usual setup, recaps, stuff like that. Poop conversations, giant troughs, shitting next to somebody in a trough, not knowing their name. All kinds of stuff like that. NFT talk. All kinds of NFT talk. WWE, they have NFTs. It's called WWE Moonsaults. You can buy their NFTs. There you go.
Don't buy
Everybody's
those.
seen it.
The fact that it was
my mind, don't buy those.
shitting into a trough is just hilarious. Like, where the hell did that come from? That you guys would both be turning around and just blasting into it.
I don't know. I don't listen. I didn't want to say this because it's much better that way, but I don't think I said he was shit next to me. I think I said he was pissing next to me in a trough.
You
in a
did not.
NASCAR
You
race.
said
Did I
you
say
definitely
shit?
said shit.
I meant to say pissing, but shitting came out. Okay.
But it also works because didn't Brandon shit in a trough once down in the
yeah,
Carolinas
did
or something?
big times in Morgantown, West Virginia.
If you're ever in big times in Morgantown, West Virginia, go check out the trough.
Take a shit in it and email Brandon.
They were pretty nice to me, all things considered.
Take a picture and send it to Sami Zayn. All right. Thanks for joining us this week. Enjoy us here every week at Wrestling is Hard. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at hard4wrestling. Subscribe and follow. Tell your friends. And for Brandon and Chris, I'm Jim. We will be back here next week.